Welcome to Agents Uncovered, where we dive beneath the surface of the agent and learn about their journey, hurdles, and insights. Spoken directly from real estate agents that we can all relate with. We don't focus on the top 1% like every other industry podcast. Instead, we're here to deliver insightful content that we can all relate to and get value from. Whether you're new to the industry, pursuing a passion, or have recently embarked on your journey within real estate, Agents Uncovered will undoubtedly inform, educate, and entertain. Subscribe now and follow Real Estate Training Australia for more content.
Welcome to Agents Uncovered. We're here at Absolute Estate Agents in the beautiful suburb of Bulimba. I'm joined today by Mario Nagy, who is the principal licensee of Absolute Estate Agents. Mario, welcome to Agents Uncovered.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. So what we want to go through today is understanding a bit more about Mario, about your story, about how you started in real estate, what led you to be the successful agent and business owner that you are today. You came into the industry in 2003, background in hospitality and HR.
Correct.
Let's talk a little bit more about that. So what led you to real estate? What was that light bulb moment for you that you said, this is the industry I want to be a part of?
Two things, inspiration and desperation, pretty much.
Okay, talk more.
So my background was in hospitality HR.
Yep.
I was a flight attendant with Virgin as well.
Yep.
I just wanted the next best thing, the next level.
Okay.
So
Saw the people flying business class and thought, you know.
Oh, they were, definitely. But I think it was a case of,
They're not real estate agents, most of those.
I could only do that for so many years.
Yep.
As you get older, what's your career? Where will this take you?
Yeah.
And how will you get there?
Yeah.
So my dad was a builder back in Slovakia.
Okay.
Mum and dad always sort of flipped homes.
Yep.
Always had a passion for that.
Okay.
And that was just a natural progression.
Okay. Yep.
And here we are.
Okay.
And it's been, crikey, 20 years.
It's been a ride.
It's been a heck of a ride.
Okay. So background, listening to or seeing mum and dad flipping homes, the experiences that they had, background in hospitality, you know, on Virgin.
I was a Virgin Blue hostie.
Virgin
That's
Blue hostie?
correct.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
it.
So dealing with people every single day, trying to, I guess, appease the different personality types.
Very similar to real estate. Funny enough, very similar to real estate, where you've got, and you hit the nail on the head, where you do have different personalities. So you do need to, you know, adhere to that. And how will you come across any objections?
Yeah. Yeah.
And different personality types. And some people talk very loud and very fast.
Yes.
And some people talk very low and very slow. So you generally, you meet all sorts, and obviously buyers as well.
Yep.
So you just need to be conscious of that, because that's what people will be receptive to.
Okay. Which leads me into the next question. You know, we talked about personalities, talking about dealing with different people. As a real estate agent coming into the industry, your first few years, I'm assuming there's been some hurdles. I mean, most agents, or almost every agent, I would say, has some hurdles in the start of their career. Is there anything that you have as a hurdle that really sort of stands out in your mind that you could share with us?
I think the biggest thing was deciding what sort of agent that I wanted to be.
Okay.
I had many role models when I was with different agencies previously, and some particular role models I really aspired to, and others I said I definitely don't want to be like that particular agent.
Mm-hmm.
I think your vibe creates your own tribe.
Okay.
And you can
I like that.
create.
Your vibe creates your own tribe. I like that.
You can create yourself as an agent and who you want to be.
Okay.
I always found that to be a challenge,
Mm-hmm.
because if you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So when you have the opportunity to do something like that, it's very important. You actually do it right the first time. I feel like selling a property. There's only one chance.
There's only one chance
for a first impression.
That's right. That's right.
After that, it's a slippery slope.
And I think one of the key things, if I may, going back to something you just said before, you don't know what you don't know. And for those people that are new to industry, it's not expected you know everything.
Well, they need the best training, you see.
They need good training. Well, I think that there's a place they can go and get that.
There is. I think you're very much in control of that.
Come and see us at
There you
Reach Out
go.
and we can help you out.
Definitely.
But for people that don't know what they don't know, it's important to not assume
100%.
what you don't know.
If I don't know something, I ask.
Yep.
And if I don't know something, I'll tell you, look, I don't know, but I'll find out.
Yep.
Do you want me to respond via text, email, or phone?
Okay.
Oh, text would be good.
Yeah.
Cool. You'll know the answer within the hour.
Yeah.
As soon as I know, you'll know. So we can't know everything. We should, as agents
Yep.
about the property. Is it pet friendly? What's the body corporate? What's the rates?
Yep.
All that sort of thing.
Yep.
But if you don't know, you don't know.
Okay.
You should know.
I like
So try and find out before you list a property. Because if you don't know, who's supposed to know?
But don't pretend that you do.
Don't pretend you do. If it's not pet friendly, don't say it is.
That will
Because
cause a
someone will
problem.
bring the little,
Horse.
French.
Yeah.
Well, horses clearly won't
Horse is
be,
probably not allowed.
approved. Come on, let's be real.
In this day and age, it could be a
But
support
little,
animal.
like a little fluffy French sort of bulldog or something.
Yeah.
Called Brutus.
Brutus.
May not be approved. So let's not, sell that person one of the biggest assets they're going to buy in their life if you don't know it's going to be pet friendly. That's always a big thing. That's never happened to me, obviously, but I have heard horror stories.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Let's go back to your early start of your career. I mean, you're now, as you said, 20 years in the industry, successful business owner, do a lot of project sales, do a lot of off-the-plan sales, do a lot of established homes, selling those. What has that journey been like for you? What was it like starting out as a new to industry person? What was those first 12 months like? What led you to start to get into your groove, if you like?
The first 12 months. Let's start with the first day. First day.
If you can remember your first day
cold
in real
call,
estate, this is going to be
first listing appointment. Jumped in the car. I was with my sales manager at the time, and we're driving to Ashgrove where the gentleman lived. We were selling. It was regarding his property at the Bonaparte's apartments in Spring Hill on the corner. And
building still there?
Building is still there. I still have a chuckle every time I drive past. And my engine started overheating in my car. I had a second-hand Audi at the time. And when I say it was overheating, there was smoke coming from the engine.
It wasn't just overheating. Your car was on fire.
My car was almost on fire. But we got to the appointment. We turned up. And the guy came out. "You blokes all right?" I said, yeah, just here for the appointment. I was that iron focused. There was just focus. The car could burn. I don't care. Like, that was the objective. Yeah. Probably not the smartest thing to do, thinking back in hindsight. We obviously had to top up the water or whatever we did. Yeah. But I was just, mate, first day, first listing, first exclusive, first marketing, first day in real estate.
That's exciting.
Never sold it.
Never sold it.
Never sold it.
Okay.
But that's okay.
But a lesson was learnt there.
That's all right. Yeah. And the car I traded in a couple of weeks later and bought something a bit more reliable, like a Volvo, which was fun. Boxy, but good.
Yeah.
And then I had the Volvo, which was great. I could put the A-frames in the back.
Yeah. Plenty of space.
And plenty of space. It was safe. That was good.
So I think the lesson, I'm being presumptuous here, but I think
you got to laugh. Like, what sort of an agent?
That's a good story.
Because you think I'm going to lose that listing if I pull over, call RS? I just kept driving.
Get there.
Just had to get there, and then we
get to the appointment, get the job done.
Get the tow truck happening. Yeah, that was
the lesson to be learnt though. Is be prepared.
Be prepared.
Don't rush into things.
Always check your levels in your car. Mate, a couple of years ago, actually, I had a very busy Saturday.
Yeah.
And this is before the Carlisle Hotel in New Farm was built. And I was just there at the lights. And I ran out of fuel. So I had to push the 911, the back of Ultra Tune. Chris, my mate, used to own it. I said, "Chris, would you mind just dropping me down the road to get some fuel?" He goes, "Mate, what are you doing? The lights normally come on in your car." I said, "Mate, I've got like 7 on today. I'm just under the pump." So it does happen. I think it happened to Emil as well. He ran out of fuel as well. So, mate, look, it happens. You get busy doing your thing.
Exactly.
But look, there's no point getting upset about it. No one's perfect.
That's right.
I used to be a flight attendant. I used to meet, 189 people on a 737-800, 5 sectors a day. That's close to 950 people a day.
Yeah. It's a lot of faces.
Mate, that's 5 days a week.
Yep.
That's 4,500 people. No one's perfect, mate. No one's perfect.
No one's perfect. You're 20 years in the industry, had some lessons learned, had to overcome some hurdles. Let's talk a little bit about your community involvement. What are you doing now as a person who has achieved success? What are you doing giving back? I hear rumours that you might have gone 10 rounds in the boxing ring. You're a bit of an amateur
10
boxer.
rounds.
What was it, 6? How many rounds did you go?
3 2-minute rounds
I was close.
with Ian Jacobs. That was a charity fight for a cause.
Fight for a cause.
So John McAndrew is the head of that, and they do a fantastic job. So these are all the sponsors for that particular event.
Okay.
So these were the sponsors. Each event they have different sponsors.
And rumor has
so we were one of the sponsors of that as well. So initially we were going to do. Well, I was one of the general participants.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I injured my knee, and as a result, I was asked not to
sidelined.
Participate. Yeah. So we had to take a slightly different avenue.
Okay.
And that's what we ended up doing.
Yeah. And rumor has it that you're eager to get back in the ring. I think there was even a talk about you calling out Jeff Horn.
Jeff, if you're out there, I want you. I'm just kidding. No, Jeff, just sit down, Jeff. No, certainly won't be fighting Jeff Horn.
Okay.
Ian Jacobs was lovely. He was my trainer as well as a dear friend. I'm happy to do it again.
Yep.
Not as an exhibition,
Yep.
but as a proper participant. My knee's a lot better. That was 18 months ago now. So,
look, the reason I went down this path of talking to you about your community involvement, what you've been doing, is that it's quite prominent in the real estate industry that people advise or recommend agents, particularly salespeople, get out there and be more involved with your community.
Well, you have
do more
to.
things.
I mean, I'm very passionate about the RSPCA.
Mm-hmm.
We love animals. We've got guinea pig and 2 dogs.
Yep.
As a collective, I think it was $189,000 that was raised,
Yep.
which was
huge.
obviously given back to, after costs, of course, given back to the RSPCA.
Yep.
So, that obviously shelters a lot of different types of animals.
Yep.
Obviously, if you know my dogs, they eat a lot, even though they're little. So it's just nice to give back.
Yeah.
The guys do a really good job. It's something I was very passionate about. Obviously, that was 18 months ago, so now looking at doing something else.
What's next on the agenda then for your community involvement?
Next on the agenda is community sports.
Okay.
So
and it's not just about sponsoring a sports club, am I right? You're actually going to be dedicating time of your own?
Correct. Doing the barbecue, being there on the weekends. Saturdays are out because obviously we've got open homes, but sports are on Sundays as well.
But someone coming into the industry, you've got nothing but time.
Correct.
Get out there, be involved in your community.
Be involved.
Yeah, cook a barbecue for the kids.
Correct.
Okay. So, Mario, let's just go back a moment to commissions, to marketing, to being an agent. Tell me, what is the common response for you when someone says, will you discount your commission? Have you ever done it? What's your go-to?
I have discounted my commission.
Yeah.
But I don't discount the service.
Okay.
Would I discount the commission to get the business?
Yeah.
If I have to?
Yeah.
I will. I prefer not to.
Okay.
And the reason being is if I'm so quick to negotiate my own fee, what does that say about me as the agent when I'm getting an offer from a particular buyer?
Yeah.
And they come, and let's just say hypothetically, it's an $800,000 property, and the buyer comes in at $700,000.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll present that. But mate, that's no.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your offer. We really appreciate your offer, Shane.
Yeah.
Look, we have had offers of that caliber previously. Look, just save me a phone call and moving right along. What's your next best offer?
I like it.
So they would then come back with 705 or 710. And that's another one when it comes to the advertising side of things.
Yep.
I don't want to spend $3-4 on marketing or $8 on marketing or whatever that may be. And I would generally say that
tough.
as well.
People hear that.
Yeah, but there's ways of doing it. There's a number of different providers that you can use to give that client money for marketing, for painting, for staging, all that sort of thing.
Yep.
And then they've got 3 to 6 months to pay it back.
Now, we spoke off camera about a sale, a deal in
Yes.
Banyo. Talk to me more about this.
So this was, I was poached from one agency to another.
Okay. Before you became Absolute Estate Agents?
So this year will be 8 years for Absolute.
Okay.
This was back in 2006.
Yep.
So we're going back a couple of years. So one of the directors there asked me to come across and said, look, guys, welcome Mario. He's the new agent. Look, just to get you started, we're going to give you a listing.
Okay.
And it was one that they had for a while. And it was a 2-bed, 1-bath at the Manor Apartments.
Okay.
And I had a phone call like a week later on it, and the buyer and the seller were completely at loggerheads, about $1,000.
Yeah.
And I said to my directors, can we just get this deal done? So look, I will forfeit half, you guys forfeit half. Let's just get it done. The seller was an older man from Townsville.
Yep.
And he rang me a week later, and he bought I've actually got the article here.
Share it with us, Mario.
He ended up inquiring about a property that he wants to buy, which we ended up selling for $6.6 million. So, yes, I lost $500 because I contributed that towards the deal as a discount on the commission. But I think we picked up 130 on that.
Yeah.
And then he sold it years later with another agent, and he tripled his money on that deal.
Incredible.
Because obviously the market changed. It's Banyo, went from industrial to resi.
Yeah.
So there you go.
The piece I'm taking away from that is you need to always be acting in the best interest of your client, the vendor.
Well, otherwise that original deal would not have happened.
Yeah.
The buyer loved the apartment because he loved rugby and he wanted to stay there once every couple of weeks when there's a game on.
Yep.
Aside from that, it was rented.
Yep.
There wasn't a lot of that sort of stock around at that time.
Yep.
It just ticked the boxes completely. So you never know when you meet someone or there's a deal like that where that will take you.
Yeah.
That's one of many that it's happened.
Don't discount your fees if you need to, but don't discount the service and don't discount what that opportunity may be.
Correct. So resi, we're at 3% plus GST.
Yeah.
If it's over $1 million, it's 2.7.
Yep.
If it's over $4 million, it's 2%. For project marketing, it's slightly different.
Yep.
Because it's off the plan. It's a slightly different agent.
Yep.
You're selling off the plan. So completely different.
Completely different.
A lot more detailed.
Talk to me a little bit about market influence. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of conversation out there at the moment, economic downturn where the federal budget was just recently released. We're talking a lot in the media about how real estate industry is just. What's your experience of this? Is that something that you would listen to? Is that something that you would say to a new industry person? Ignore that shit. That's just nonsense.
And I bought a house during the GFC.
Yeah, you and me both. Yeah.
So listen to you. Make that decision based on information that's out there.
Yep.
Be careful what you listen to.
Yep.
It can influence you the other way.
Yep.
The media is not necessarily always correct, as we all know.
Mm-hmm.
Perception's a wonderful thing.
Yes.
And I would go to multiple sources of media and look at industry experts that can actually have that insight. So Mark Boris is great to listen to.
Yep.
From Yellow Brick Road, as an example, he says it as it is.
Yep.
No fancy wording needed.
Yep.
When you're having a conversation. I'm not here to impress you, and Mark's not here to impress anyone anyways.
Yep.
So keep it simple, stupid is a very, very important factor.
Mm-hmm.
The market is exactly how it is when I said it in October with Philip DeBella at the Coffee Commune when we had a sellout lunch. There will be some interest rate rises, there'll be some holds, and then it'll start to come back. Now, I can't give financial advice, and I'm not. We're simply having a story. But from my understanding, Shane, is the data that they're using is a little bit lagged. So the decisions that are made are a little bit lagged based on the data. So last month, for example, we had a drop in inflation, yet this month they upped the interest rates another quarter basis point after it was on hold last month. Again, that just reconfirms my previous comment about the data.
It leads me to a piece of wisdom that I'd like to share, something that I think probably resonates well with yourself. When someone used to say, when I was a salesperson, one of the things that I was taught was when someone would say to us, what's the market doing? The simple response is not to go into objection handling or to talk about the market, it's up, it's down. Are you interested in buying or selling? Because in a bad market,
people ask all the time, you're at a party, you're at a barbecue, you're picking up kids from school or kindy. Hey, you're a real estate agent. How's the market?
Yeah, are you interested in selling or buying?
Well, that's it. It's different for either.
Yeah,
at the moment, there's not a lot of stock. At the moment, I'm talking with agents that have been doing it for 20 years. that don't have any listings.
Yeah.
Why the hell not?
Yeah.
What's going on? How's that pipeline traveling?
Yeah.
That's what I've been told to do.
Yeah.
I just do what I'm told.
Yeah.
By great training and excellent mentors. Have a pipeline.
Yeah.
Always think, what's next, what's next, what's next?
Sure.
Hence my comment initially, which is always know where you're heading. Otherwise, how are you going to get there?
Absolutely.
You don't drive around like driving Miss Daisy.
Just having a little.
You've got to have a direction. Otherwise, you'll never get there, mate.
Absolutely.
We're doing laps, hot laps.
Hot laps.
Hot laps, music up, pumping. Yeah. Definitely. I think, for young agents out there, mate, they really need to just take a good look at where they want to go.
Yep.
Real estate is an amazing vehicle, both professionally and personally.
Yep.
And they will no doubt do it themselves.
Yep.
But the agent needs to practice what they preach as well.
Yeah.
There's no good having an agent that lives at home with mummy and paying rent.
Yeah.
If they're not going to give you great advice on how can we improve this home, unless they do have general knowledge about building and construction. Absolutely. And obviously home improvements.
Yep.
The costs of construction, how much they've gone up.
Yep.
They've come down a little bit. Concrete's still up.
Which goes back to the initial piece of wisdom from yourself, Mario. You don't know what you don't know. If you are living at home with mum,
you don't know.
You don't know the cost of living.
Get a good painter, get a good sparky, get a good plumber, mowing guy, moving company. Yep. Get all that on board so you can and put in a little letter. You can give it to your client. Say, look, I know all these people. Yep. We can project manage the entire process. Yep. Because, like for example, we just saw one of the guys in Sydney. Yep. Everything's done on the phone. We don't FaceTime. I'm not dating him. We don't need to FaceTime, right? Everything's on the phone. I said, look, don't stress. We'll manage it. There's a process of what's first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Yep. And that's what we're going to do. And then I've already found them a tenant for in 6 weeks' time. When it's finished, tenant moves in.
Fantastic.
Who does that?
That's organisation.
We do that. It's actually called giving a shit.
Mate, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So if you give a shit, generally it's a good thing. Yeah.
There's a lot of good lessons learned here. Before we wrap things up, and we're taking up a lot of your precious time, I'm obviously
I'm very busy.
I'm aware.
Seriously, this has gone over time.
Before we wrap things up, 3 key pieces of advice, if you can, for someone coming into the industry. What would you, if you had the chance to say to someone brand new, this is what you should be doing?
Number 1, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it.
Okay. Tell me more about this.
Okay, so Explain. We've all seen the $1 million listing TV shows.
We have.
That's excellent, but those guys aren't having their first day in real estate. They've been doing it for 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years. Don't think that someone's year 10 is your day 1.
Yeah, don't compare their journey
work
to
like
yours.
that. Everyone has a different journey. That's probably the first thing. Certainly have a vision of where you want to see yourself. I'm a great believer in to-do lists and goals, goal setting. If it's just up here in your mind, it never happened because you might forget it. If it's written down, it's a lot more likely to occur. And have that set path for the next year, 2, 3, 4, 5. A bit like for us as an agency and what we would like to do and achieve and grow. Obviously with other offices and that sort of thing. It's important for an agent to do that with themselves. And then there's a choice of, do I want to be a commercial agent, resi agent, property manager, buyer's agent? Decide on that, because some people are suited more to one than the other. So certainly just have clear focus. Decide what you want and then go and get it.
Okay. So be confident about the direction you want to take, different roles, different personality types, different requirements.
Be true to you. So
be true to you. Yep.
Some people wear a suit.
Yep.
A blue one. That seems to be the uniform.
That was me.
Was it?
Once upon a time.
Well, Harcourt's is blue,
of course,
isn't it? Yeah. I'm saying in general, that seems to be the go-to uniform.
Yep.
But then you're just like everybody else. So why would I list with you? I can just list with the next suit. What's different from you than that guy? I'm not saying your wardrobe is who you are, but certainly your personality will come out a little bit. And
what is your unique point of difference?
What would you do for me selling my home that Joe Bloggs can't do? And sorry to Joe Bloggs if he's out there.
And I know I said we're going to try and wrap things up shortly, but
we're going to keep going.
This has inspired me to have a further conversation. We've talked about unique point of difference, and we just sort of covered off something there. A lot of agents coming into the industry feel like they're going to be that next $1 million writer.
Cool, and they can be, but they need to have a point of difference.
And so their point of difference is trying to tell someone, I'm amazing.
Well, yeah, cool, but how are you amazing?
How have you proved
What
it?
makes you any different?
Yeah.
So when someone asked me that, I said, well, my results are proven enough. But in addition to that, your house needs a lick of paint. So I've renovated many, many homes before. My wife and I have bought and sold 16 properties since '07.
Yep.
So I sort of have a little bit of experience in that field personally. I would recommend painting the property. It's only going to cost you internally, whatever the size of the home is, X amount. Maybe we can spruce up the gardens, get the fencing done, high pressure cleaning. Let's say we're going to spend 20. That will most likely, in majority of cases, put an extra $80,000 in that seller's pocket.
Yep.
Now, will $80,000 make a difference? Potentially. It's school fees, holidays, we can travel now, a new car, a deposit for the next place.
May not increase the price of the property at sale time, but it might shorten the time on market, which is going to be of benefit anyway.
That's the other thing. If the home wasn't presentable in the first place, we're not even talking about the price. Will anyone actually buy it? We just had a property, it went unconditional 3 days ago. Our top performing agent in the suburb had it for 4.5 months. Top performing, number one agent in the suburb. I've never sold in the suburb.
We're not going to mention them.
I won't mention it because it's not professional. No. But I had a chat with the owner. I said, look, he said, Murray, would you like to sell? I said, sure, of course I would. But first I'd like to go and have a look at it. I walked in and the grass was up to past my knees. Yeah. Now, that hasn't been cut in a very long time. So my question is, what the hell are they doing? Because they're not giving feedback back to the seller, to the vendor, and it's costing them mortgage every single week or month, however the setup is. What's going on? Oh, and the first photo was a toilet.
Awesome.
Second photo was a kitchen with mold.
That's just
now,
what you want
just
to see.
common sense. Maybe don't put the toilet up. Just common sense.
I've never seen a well-presented toilet in a property reel of photos anyway.
No.
And I think that
you just don't do that.
The key piece of information
We sold the property in 2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks. There you go.
Over ask.
Over asking, 2.5 weeks. The key piece
but we
from
painted
that
it.
Is don't be in a hurry to get the property on the market.
If it's not ready.
If it's not ready.
Just take your time.
Take your time.
Because the cheaper agent becomes the more expensive agent.
Yes, indeed.
Funny enough.
Yes, indeed.
Funny enough.
Mario, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for coming.
Welcome.
Thanks for having us.